Hi, my name is Jason Hassan. I'm a social studies teacher at Calvert Hall College High School. I teach freshman world history. Calvert Hall College High School has a unique setup in our curriculum in that we have a 6-day rotating cycle. Within those 6 days, one of those days we do a large group lecture. So everybody that is in freshman world history, which this year is 160 some students, comes to a large group lecture hall like you would see in a college, and one of the 2 or 3 freshman social studies teachers gives a lecture on a particular topic. After that lecture, we have 5 days in which we meet each of the classes in what we call seminars. We meet them once, 4 times out of those 5 days. So we have four classes, 1 lecture every 6 days. So we have a unique setup for our curriculum. In freshman world history, we cover the beginnings of the dawn of civilization all the way up until past the French Revolution. So it is a long, extended period of time. Because of that setup, we can only cover certain aspects of history in a very minute and short period of time. For instance, we cover ancient Greece or ancient Rome in a 5-day cycle, in a 5-day class, 1 lecture and 4 classes. So you can never go into any type of detail for any of these topics. So the Null curriculum for this particular setup is that we don't cover any minute details about any of the civilizations that we learn about. And that's much to the detriment to the students. It'd be great to spend a month on ancient Greece or ancient Rome or the French Revolution or the Renaissance or any of those type periods of time, but because we only have a few days to cover it, we have to cover very, very small amount of details. So the Null curriculum explicitly calls our attention to what long has been a matter of common sense, that when developing a curriculum, we leave things out. You cannot teach everything. And that's according to Flinders, Notting, and Thornton in their article, The Null Curriculum, Its Theoretical Basis and Practical Implications. And I guess that's really being experienced here by me in our class. And the reason for that, again, is because of how fast we have to move through history, because they have to get to a certain period of time so that they can cover it in sophomore history class. So it's a very, very detriment to the students. And in our case, we have a lot of classes at Calvert Hall. So economics is a class, psychology is a class, even anthropology is a class. So it's not necessarily a subject area that is a Null curriculum, but it is actually the detail that we're missing in this Null curriculum at Calvert Hall. And then the other article by Thornton about the silence of gays and lesbians in social studies curriculum, I understand what he's trying to get at, but I also disagree with him in the fact, especially when he's talking about the example of James Baldwin and how most of the classes will study something about James Baldwin and how his historical writings in the struggle for racial injustice in the civil rights era, but not mention that he was a homosexual. And I understand not mentioning that because in the context when you're studying the civil rights era for African Americans, you know, that is what you're focusing on. And instead of bringing it up in that particular instance, the Null curriculum is missing in the fact that there is no real teaching about the civil rights era as it pertains to gays and lesbians. And I think his writing would be better suited in that regard. And so the Null curriculum is not that he's missing that piece during the civil rights era lesson, but I think that the Null curriculum would be in the missing entirely a unit on civil rights and the struggle between gays and lesbians. I don't know what the solution to this is, other than to go slow and change the entire curriculum to add some more things or add more time per unit. But that would be the only solution to this. Otherwise, the Null curriculum, especially in social studies, is going to